All right, good morning, everybody. I love watching first graders, officiate the program. And as you know, we only have one daughter, so I'm not used to raising boys. And the difference is so apparent. After the girl goes up, good morning, everyone. Today we'll be chairing service. And she walks back nicely, right? But if you watch every boy, after everything they say, they're like, like every single boy did something different. One of them dragged his feet. So I think it's so great. I love it. So don't change, you guys. Keep it up. I was sad to hear, I read a news article, and, there's a lot more sad things going on, but I was sad to hear, the movie phone guy, the guy that does, see, you guys don't know. The movie phone guy has gone away. That phone number, back in my day, before the era of smartphones and instant, you just tap it and all the movie times come up, you used to dial this number. It was 444 film back in my day. Nobody remembers this. Okay, we got the few. See? Well, that's why it went away, because none of you guys use it. But you'll recognize the voice when you hear it. You'll recognize the voice, because you dial 444 film, and, it rings, and you pick it up, and the guy goes, "Hello, and thank you for calling Movie Phone." See, now you know the voice, right? It's brought to you. He goes, "If you know the name of the movie you wish to see, press 1 now." That guy. Anyway, see, you don't even know who he is, so that's why he has no more job, okay? Replaced by technology, and I just thought that was so interesting. And I thought, maybe if they just use different voices or something, they could replace him, because you weren't impressed by that voice at all. If you call my house, that's the voice I put on my machine. So maybe if we use different voices. So I was thinking, maybe if Kermit the Frog did it or something, that would be kind of cool. You dial, and it's like, "Hey ho, this is Kermit the Frog here, If you know the name of the movie you wish to see, press 1 now, bah!" Right? That'd be good. Or for other people, maybe older generations, we can get former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger to do it. That'd be good, You dial 444 film, you'd be like, "Thank you for calling Movie Phone," "Why are you not at the gym? You should be working out, not watching movies." Or, all right, that's not very good. Maybe Star Wars fans, we could get Jar Jar Binks to do it. No. Jar Jar Binks would call, and you'd dial the phone, and "Thank you for calling the Movie Phone. Mr. Jar Jar, Mr. gonna tell you all the time Star Wars is playing." And that would be it, right? All right. So anyway. One Zen student said, "My teacher is the most disciplined. He can go days without eating." The second Zen student said, "My teacher has so much self-control. He can go days without sleeping." But the Jodo Shinshu student said, "My teacher is so wise that he eats when he's hungry and sleeps when he's tired." And that, everybody, is really why I enjoy Jodo Shinshu so much. It's not a religion or a teaching that is hard to understand or that is masked in deep ritual. There are no secrets. There's no trick. You know what I mean? There's no one thing you can do and then everything will be wonderful in your life. There are no easy answers. There's only reality and trying our best to live in this world with our eyes wide open. And today's talk is going to be, and I have an excuse, though, because all last week, we just got back from Hawaii. This is our first family trip ever that we took the whole family with Ellie and everybody to Hawaii. It's our first trip. It's the first time I have been able to go on a week-long vacation in well over a decade and a half as well. I've never been away for a whole week, a couple days at a time. And Hawaii, of course, is very beautiful. And we were lucky to avoid the rain. I understand that right before we arrived, it had been raining for several days. And from what I understand, right after we left, it started raining here as well, right? So we just went in a little dry patch. We floated along in a little dry patch. So it was really nice. And we stayed at the Aulani Hotel. Have you guys heard of this one? It's one of these Disney resorts. Great place for the family. It's a beautiful property. It's relatively brand new, just a few years old. It's got a bunch of pools on the property, and it's got this thing called the lazy river. It's like a little creek, stream thing that you just swim around and around. Not very lazy. I mean, I was exhausted doing it. Ellie loved it. And then just a few steps down, they built a private cove. So it's shared by just a couple resorts. So bam, you're just right on the beach. Then you just come back and, for this trip, we just made it a real point to not plan anything. We didn't sign up for any tours or anything. We just said, we are just going to relax and kick back in the sand. And that's what we did, just the whole week. So it was really, really wonderful. But as the week neared its end, I was definitely ready to come home. There's no place like home, right? There's no place like home. And after the week went by, bam, here we are. We're home already. Hey, I see Mr. Yoshimura. He's home too. We saw him at the airport when we were leaving. That's why I'm like, hey, you're back. Okay. Hey, I didn't know. Okay, good to see you. Welcome back. And it's funny because right when you get home, the moment you get home, just a few hours ago, you were living in this tropical paradise, getting in the routine, and then right when you get home, you're just right back in the routine of things. Isn't it? It's so weird. It's so surreal. The trip almost seems like a dream. And, right when you get home, bam, you're throwing the loads of laundry in, you're opening your mailbox, and you're like, oh my, you're pulling the stack out, and you're like, oh, pizza guys. Well, pizza guys is good. Keep those coming. But, and you're just pulling out all your stuff, you're getting everything in order, Right when you get home, it's just like, bam, you're right back in the swing of things. And for me, too, I go, I got to prepare for Sunday service tomorrow, too. So, I wasn't writing it in Hawaii, come on. But after the long day of traveling and running around, you really look forward to going to sleep in your own bed, As nice as the resort is, as beautiful as it is, there's nothing like just your own bed. And after everything is settled down for the day, you lay down and you close your eyes and you start thinking about just the warm ocean waves, and you think of the beautiful white sand, and you drift off to sleep, right? But the thing that I thought about, and the ironic thing was, when we first arrived in Hawaii, like as we were first, flying in and getting there, all I could keep thinking about was all the stuff I had to take care of back at home. And I have this problem of quieting my mind. I can't just be where I am and without worrying about what I got to do next, I have a very hard time of simply existing in the moment and not thinking of anything else. And the same is true before we left. For the weeks leading up to the trip, I really couldn't think of anything else but going, on vacation. And you think about planning everything. You think of all the details you have to get in order before you leave. There's a lot of stuff you got to take care of. And as the days get closer and closer to your trip, that's all you can think about. And if you try to remember the last few days before you leave on vacation, you can't even remember what you had for lunch that day, right? Those days fly by in a blur, because your mind is already where you're going to be next. You're not where you're at. And when you finally get to that airport, you're just focusing on making sure everything's in order. Is my boarding pass going to print out? Do I have to take off my shoes here? Or do I wait till later? Do I got to take my laptop out? You're thinking of the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And eventually, everything went really smooth, and we arrived on time, and everything went fine, and here we are, aloha time, and you're there because you turn on the radio and it's like, hello, today's low is 68 and the high of 78, Why do they have a weather channel? That's every day, I don't know. And tomorrow, high of 69, low of 69, high of 79. And that's it. Slight chance of rain, right? That's it, every day. But no matter how smooth things go, I keep thinking about how I'm going to do it better the next time. Do any of you ever do this? Okay, just me. Even as I'm arriving in paradise, I'm already thinking about, next time, maybe we should go to Hertz instead of Alamo because that shuttle's closer. Or next time we should get the, the cool little Jeep car instead of the economy little, Hyundai Hoopty car, or whatever. But it's amazing because you're always thinking about next time, even when you're right there. You haven't even started this vacation yet, and I'm already thinking about the next one. But of course, after we got to the resort, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Everything was, wonderful. The people were great. Like I said, it's a brand new resort. Everything's state of the art. And it's funny because you get there, and it's a strange feeling for me, anyway, because I didn't want anything else. Meaning, the flight was on time, the flight was totally smooth, the shuttle was right there when we got there, it took us right to the car, the guy said, there's our car, everything was ready right on time. And it's a strange feeling because everything went perfect. And I know that sounds funny to say, right? It sounds funny to say, but how often in your life are you in a position or situation where you really just don't want anything more? Even now, you want this to end, this Dharma talk. I know. We got to hurry up and get to Dharma school class so we can get home. We got to sell Girl Scout cookies at Sam's Club today, blah, blah. So it's funny, right? This is what I'm talking about, and this is what today's message is about. Our minds are always on to the next thing, so let's take a moment and be in this moment. And whenever you first start your vacation, there's that first day of the break-in period, right? Because you're the new one to the resort, you don't know where everything is, you don't know the routine is. You're just trying to get the whole vibe down, figure out where the breakfast thing is and all that. And on that first day, when you go to the pool, because it's the first day, that's the first day you still suck in your stomach when you go to the pool. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, that's what I look like, That's only first day. By the second day, oh, forget it. Forget it by the second day. It's on now. And then you think, I'm never going to see any of these people again anyway. What do I care? But, you settle in and you find your pace and you try to forget everything else and try to enjoy, And I've never really been in a resort kind of thing before where everything is on the premises. All you need is your room key now, You can buy things, you scan the room key, that's all you need. And they're like, oh, your room key is waterproof, you can keep it in your pocket. I don't know if they talk like that, but, that's all you need. So the first time in my life, for the first time in the past 16 years of my life, I left my phone in the room. And I know it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but for me, it was actually a really big deal. I knew I was going to be gone for several hours, and it was during, working hours, and I just left I don't need anything but this, that's it. And it was an incredibly liberating experience for me. Because as a business owner, especially as a restaurant owner, my phone, I didn't realize what a source of stress my phone was for me. When your guys' phones ring or vibrate, you're like, oh, I got a text, oh my God, where are we going to go after this? It's kind of like, oh, what's happening next? When my phone used to ring, it's always, oh, the compressor is broken, oh, the such and such didn't show up for his shift again, and you're all stressed out. So every time my phone rang, it was, I would really feel it. I mean, in the pit of my stomach. Oh, what now? What now? And then poor Janet would call, and I'd be like, what? It's like, God, just what do you want for dinner, So stressed out, and my phone ringing. So for the first time in my adult life, I didn't have to worry about it. But that's a hard switch to shut off, because I've been doing it for so long. It was still hard for me to shut off. And I remember while I was working at the restaurant, every time I would work there, all I would think about at work was trying to get home to spend time with the family. So I'd hurry up and try to finish everything up. Hey, thanks for coming in at 8:59, even though we close in a minute. Get out of here. No. And I'd always think about, oh, I got to hurry up and clean this stuff up and finish this stuff up so I can get home. And the ironic thing is whenever I was home or with the family, all I would worry about is what I got to get done at the restaurant. So when I'm at home, I'm checking emails for reservations and things that have to get done and looking up stuff on the web. When I was at home, all I would do is think about what I had to get done at the restaurant. So for all those years, I never lived where I was. I never existed in the moment where I was. I was always living somewhere else. And that was a big point of stress for me. And as I thought about that on vacation, I realized to myself, and I said, hey, be here right now. Just be here right now. Don't worry about the next vacation. Don't worry about checking into the flight that's far away. Don't worry about what you're going to eat next even. Just Let it flow, you know. That's the, right? You got to just let it go, man. Hey, they don't worry about anything over there. And like I said, it's still hard for me to do now, but I really came to that realization on this past trip, because for the first time in my life, I was truly, truly able to set things aside and let it go. And this is something that we all do. And it's hard for us because as adults, you know, we have to plan for the future, don't we? I mean, you can't just be like this all the time, because then you're that guy. You're that guy. He never plans anything. He never brings anything, you know. You want to be somewhat present and plan ahead for the future. It's important. But just remember, this time will never come back to us. This moment, watching these first graders, watching these boys, they're not going to do that forever. Hopefully. I mean, you know, and you gotta really smile and embrace this moment that we live in right now, this moment that we exist in right now. When you're flying on the plane, you're like, oh, I can't wait to get there, I can't wait to get there. Yeah, you can. You can wait to get there, because soon enough you'll be there. And then soon enough you'll be going home already. So just be in the moment. You know, be in the moment, in each moment. And, you know, it's hard for us to let things go like that. You know, to let go of that worry, especially if you're a responsible person. But, you know, you got to let it go. You know, you just got to let it go. Don't hold it back anymore. You know, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. Okay. These kids know what I'm talking about. But remember, by letting things go and existing in the now, it doesn't mean that we don't give any thought to what comes next, right? This doesn't mean that we should not be prepared for the future, and it doesn't mean we shouldn't be organized. That's not what it means. But it does mean that we shouldn't pass up what is happening right now as we continue to look ahead. So let us try to remember this as we go through our day, and as we go through our week, and as we go through this month. February is already over, huh? It's that quick. We were just saying Happy New Year. Just, it seems like yesterday. Really it does. And that's how quickly time passes us by. So let's remember to live in the now and embrace each of these moments so we can enjoy our lives. With that, please join me in closing Gasho. Do not completely stop planning for the future, for it is always wise to plan ahead. But just don't forget to be mindful of the present while you are doing so. For if you completely miss today in planning for tomorrow, then when will you live life? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.